Greetings, everybody. So today I will talk about energetic parasites. What are those? How to protect yourself, and if you feel like you had some sort of attacks, how to cleanse yourself. So first of all, what are the energetic parasites? Energetic parasites could be classified in many categories, but the main one I have encountered were lower astral beings, certain energy and thought forms that one might have created for themselves, or they have been sort of transferred from one person to another. Those are certain entities at the lower vibration that can affect human being. Certain people can be susceptible more to those beings than others. For example, let's say if a person works with mentally ill people, or they work with people who consume drugs, those people are already carrying energetic parasites within their aura field. And especially a sensitive person may feel unsettling feelings after encountering those people, and even vibrating after them at a certain level, at a lower level. So I find those are the most common ones. I'm sure there are plenty other. They can live in human beings for a very long time unless a human being is evolving themselves, if they're doing meditations, if they're doing practices, again, sort of cleansing practices, whether it's fasting, or maybe sound healing, even as simple as the ones just taking shower after waking up, or just going into maybe a sacred body of water, like for example a river or a lake. Those are very cleansing practices. So let's say if you feel like there is a foreign energy in your system, first you need to identify, where is it coming from. Is it coming from the people that you knew, or maybe you're working with this type of people, or maybe you lowered yourself, maybe you have already sort of your energy levels or your emotional or mental being has lowered down. Just like we experience sickness when our immune system goes down, that's when a person is more prone to sickness. It's the same thing here. Maybe you stressed out a little bit here, or perhaps you got a little bit of sickness too, and you missed or skipped some of the yoga practices that you normally do, or meditation. You can also become susceptible to those type of energies. So if you have to work, if you still have to encounter people like that, I would make sure you sage yourself as often as you can. As simply as it sounds, it may sound really absolutely redundant, but do that. After you come home from work, you immediately take a shower, and after that you can sage yourself. You can do a small healing sound bath. That will be your protection. That would be your protection. Another thing is stop taking any psychedelic drugs. And why I insist on that one, especially microdosing, I found is actually more dangerous than a full dose, and I'll explain why. When we, let's say, take a full dose of psychoactive substance, that spirit of the plant or the spirit medicine sort of forces our spirit out. And it's not like we are completely out of our body, even though that happens as well. But it's like our ego, our false self identity, is pushed out. And we can experience other forms. Some people can experience lower forms. It just really depends on what is already within yourself. Go through bad experience and then really pop out on the other side and find out, wow, that was actually the best experience because you've discovered something. But what happens with microdosing is that you are between two worlds. You're not here and you're not there. And since the ego is somehow still there, you just end up tapping into lower astral realms. That's why many people actually feel worse when they're microdosing. They feel panicky or they don't know what's going on. It's because certain channels are open, but the other channels, like the false, like that ego channel, is closed. So that becomes a certain invitation to the lower astral forms. So we don't want that. Please take those medicine very carefully if you decide to do so, even though I don't recommend. But if you must, then I advise to have more of an intentional ceremony, and do it whenever you need. The next step is, if you have already encountered, if you feel like sometimes something is overpowering you or possessing you, and that could be many different reasons. Sometimes we actually create those patterns, those entities for ourselves. So that thought form, that egregor, becomes an entity in its own. So you don't have to even do anything. It's just simply affecting you already on a day-to-day basis. Or maybe not today, maybe when a certain trigger comes out. So what to do in this case? I find that in this case, what really truly helps is yoga, breathwork, meditation. Just going back to yourself. Whatever maybe destructive behavior that you experience, or maybe you feel like there is a voice in your head that is like speaking and it's not really you. Maybe you even feel like you have not even thought that you may think those things. You have not even thought that you may think those destructive thoughts about yourself or maybe about others. Recognize that this is not you. This is very important. Don't blame yourself. Don't think that this is you. Don't think that you're a bad person. Don't think you're a horrible person. No, just know what is you and what is not you. It is like a radio. Basically, you tapped into the channel of a lower vibration and you're just channeling the lower vibration. But as humans, we're also capable of tapping into higher vibration. Just turn on the other channel. And how you turn on the other channel is just, first of all, simply believing that you are powerful enough to tap into higher realms, to channel other higher astral beings. Because the astral world is not just the lower astral world. Astral world has so many different type of beings. So you're also capable of that. Simply channeling the truth. And yoga, breath work, self-care, going on a walk, going on a hike, being in close proximity with nature would really be beneficial. Like I said, going to the body of water, making sure you're having a shower twice a day. I know it sounds, again, maybe very overly simplistic, and it's what you're supposed to do anyway, but sometimes maybe we forget, or we get caught up in life world, and whenever we are in a bad mood, we get susceptible with that type of energy, the type of energetic parasites. They're everywhere, right? They're like viruses, they're like a bacteria. It's everywhere. We just don't see it normally with our naked eye, even though whenever we start raising our vibrations, we can start seeing even with our naked eye. That happened to me. And this is not something to be afraid of. This is not something to be concerned of. It's like you're not afraid when you see a bug on the wall, right? And it's the same with astral beings. They're like little bugs, or sometimes big bugs. It's not something to be afraid of at all. Oftentimes, I've noticed, specifically talking about lower astral beings, they tend to come when we are asleep, whenever we're also traveling in the astral realms. And I can even tell sometimes that my dreams would be affected by those lower beings, whether ghosts or lower astral realm. And this is something that we need to have a self-check with. Again, maybe you're not really feeling really good. Maybe the space where we're living in is not really conducive and is trying to tell you something. I've had many experiences where actually ghosts were trying to contact me and ask for help through the sleep. Not something that is very comfortable to experience, not comfortable experience at all. Though in this type of situation, of course, if you know how to communicate with the more subtle worlds, you can help with the beings, or just move out. This place is just basically not conducive for your well-being, and there are many places that are like that. Or before you go to bed, and if you feel like your dreams are not really influenced by your own consciousness, again, simply trust, try, and sage in it. I've noticed it works. It works all the time. Whether you're saging some sort of other herb, I like sage vetiver. It has a really nice smell. Palo Santo, same. And just going to bed having positive thoughts, maybe positive thoughts of gratitude for the day. Just telling yourself, I'm really looking forward for the day. I am going to have nice sleep, and I will fall into sleep world, into astral world very easily and happily. So those are my tips on how to deal with energetic parasites. If you have any questions on that, feel free to comment, and I'm also available for tarot readings. Feel free to direct message me on Instagram, and I'll see you in my next video.